Are your step 1 or step 2 scores stuck and you're not sure why? Don't worry, you're not alone, and it doesn't mean you're dumb. The secret to success is to first know exactly what our problem is before we start looking for solutions. Antibiotics are a great treatment for pneumonia, but a horrible treatment for heart failure. If your studying isn't working, it may be that your plan is solving the wrong problem. As someone who scored in the top 0.1% on step 1, I've created the SCORE framework to help you identify and overcome your obstacles no matter where you're starting from. We've had students use it to go from the bottom 3% to the top 3%, some in under 2 months. Because remember, it's not what you got, it's how you use it. Let's dive in. So the SCORE component is comprised of 5 parts. S stands for study concepts, not memorization. C is to commit to memory. O is optimize application. R is repeat. And E is execute analytically. With this framework, what you can do is understand exactly where you are in the framework to understand why your score is stuck and how to fix it. Let's start with study concepts, not memorization. As we talked about before, the NBME, which is the National Board of Medical Examiners, the people that write step 1 and step 2, they are testing concepts. They're testing your ability to apply concepts and to use them appropriately. As we've discussed in the past, one of the most important things that you're going to be tested on, and one of the biggest differences for step 1 and shelf exams and step 2, is that these exams are testing your ability to apply concepts. So let me repeat this, because this is probably the most important thing that you're gonna hear about studying for the USMLEs, is that it's not like the memorization test that you've typically had. So when I went to Stanford for medical school, the professors tended to write questions that you could just memorize, where they would kind of, scour their PowerPoints to find things that they could test you on, that they could pull out and they could put on the exam. And so what med students are typically trained to do up until they take step 1 and shelf exams is that they're typically trained to just memorize things. This does not fly for step 1, step 2, or shelf exams. And so for people that are struggling to pass, the biggest problem that they have is that they're just trying to memorize things and regurgitate it, which is A, not very efficient, and B, not adapted to the way that they're asking questions. And so one of the ways in which we assess whether someone is mastering the concepts as opposed to just memorizing details is that we'll look at their flashcards. So let's take an example of, say, pulsus paradoxus. If you are memorizing it, your flashcards might look something like this. Pulsus paradoxus, what is it? Pulsus paradoxus, what are the causes? Or maybe even pulsus paradoxus, what is the pathophysiology? Note that the answer to these questions could be pretty straightforward, and there's something that you could regurgitate from a relatively small flashcard. Now, let's look at someone who's made a really excellent flashcard that puts together not only the pathophysiology, but also the causes because they made sense of it. They've mastered an underlying concept. So what this person said is, pulsus paradoxus, use the pathophysiology to explain the causes. And then they went and then they described what it is. So it's greater than a 10 millimeter mercury drop in systolic blood pressure during inspiration. And then they also took the next step, which is remarkable. So let's look at this. So they said on inspiration, you have an increase in venous return, which means you're gonna have an increase in right ventricular preload. And basically what happens is that anything that's gonna compress the heart from the outside and prevent ventricular filling, so something like say croup or OSA or asthma or COPD, right? Some sort of obstructive pulmonary disease where the lungs are gonna get air trapping and get over full and push in on that heart, or something like tamponade where there's gonna be fluid outside of the heart that's gonna push in the heart. Any of those things is going to basically prevent the left ventricle from filling, which is going to restrict the left ventricular preload, which is going to decrease the stroke volume, which is going to lead to that decrease in pulse pressure, because every single time the ventricle is contracting, there's going to be less blood pumped out, which means that the increase in blood pressure that you see between the diastolic and the systolic is going to be less. You can tell from this card that this person really understands this concept, and any way in which they're going to be asked this, they're going to have a very good chance of answering it. Contrast that with the other flashcards where you've got, just the simple things like what is it, or what are the causes, or what's the pathophysiology. If you're not asked those specific questions close to that specific way, it's gonna be much more difficult for you to get those questions correct because you don't really understand the concept if you're just memorizing the details. And so again, if you're struggling to pass, one of the biggest problems that we see is that you're not going deep enough with the concepts. And so this is rule number 1, 2, and 3 for people that are struggling to pass. So if you found this helpful and want to get more questions correct for the knowledge that you already have, be sure to click in the description for our 14-step free program. And if you want help getting there faster and want to work with our team, you'll have the option of booking a free assessment with our team. And if it makes sense to work with you, we'll explain exactly what it would look like so that you can get a higher score in less time.